Y'all notice how they get who is they? Pharmaceutical, drug companies, produce. People who want to sell you something, they get you hooked on it before they tell you how bad it is, or before it's found out, or before the research is done. Somehow you already hooked on it. It don't matter if it's sugar, whatever. Opioids, over the years, thousands of drugs have come out and they get tested first on the public or general ignorance, people who are willing or otherwise otherwise ignorant and just get tested on, and then it's normalized to do it. Cigarette smoking, it's normalized to do it. Sugar, it's normalized to do it. Alcohol, it is normalized to do it. But all of these are compounds, complex compounds. They never talk about the simple compounds that the earth and nature provides. The simple compounds, you know, um, plant life, fruits, nuts, things that the body can decode and structure for building. Yeah, also, shit, I think I want to speak on building because the word came out and I was thinking about it yesterday. Um, so, for you to be considered a god, you have to have built something. That's the prerequisite for attaining your godhood or your goddessness is what have you built. So in my thought process, I wanted to challenge that a little bit because I'm like, what if God is here to destroy? What if destruction has to come first? What if the breaking down has to happen first? Breaking down things and getting it down to rubble and ash so it can be taken through the fire process and remolded into something new. Um, I'm just saying, so if we are duality and we have to address our dark and light side, and that is part of being God or a goddess, then how then can the prerequisite for being God be what have you built in this realm? Now, not to take away from the understanding that everything is built on sacred geometry structures and everything is ultimately built. But there's definitely things that get torn down, and they say God is the one that balances and does all of this stuff, tearing down, breaking down, vengeance is mine, like whatever needs to be corrected. So what if in this lifetime you are here to just be the existence that rectifies and bends and resists everything that is standing, especially if it's standing in the way of plants, in the way of fruits, in the way of seeds and life and the ecosystem balancing itself naturally without invasive structures or structures that bring disharmony. So, yeah, I definitely think we should be building synchronicity, you know, absorbing our light rays and building the synchronicity in our lives and everything that we do. But I mean, I'm just saying, what about that time part where something has to be broken down? So let's not forget, you know, we may have to break away from old habits. We may have to tear down an old structure of ourselves that we thought was the right path or the right way. um, Even unto death, we may have to be reborn again and totally fall apart to be remade whole. So also think small in that whole remaking and rejuvenating, and remember to think microscopic. And a lot of our memory A lot of the special DNA, everything is in our gut and in our microbiome. And we live in a huge microbiome. The whole earth is a huge microbiome. So y'all just keep in mind all of these particulars as you growing and expecting the God of yourself and wondering, hey, why am I still broke? But everywhere I've gone in my life, I've seen the God in me take form and take action and make a way for me. So, but I haven't built anything. I'm, or haven't built anything the way any constructs. But see, if I wanted to build, it would be planting seeds. If I wanted to build, it would be teepees with copper or triangulated structures around it. So no, I haven't built anything yet, and I'm on the way. But I definitely, have built many technology pieces, many pieces, that I mean, I've built things. So what do you mean when you say built? Sometimes what are again? What are you building? It's just that fascinated me to think that that's the prerequisite of God is to be a builder, which we know is definitely part of the matriarch, part of the system to build. But also to assume with that, that the connotation is that you're broke, you can't build anything, you don't have any house, you don't have land, you don't have generational wealth. What have you built? How are you built? But again, I challenge it and say, maybe you're here to destroy. Maybe you're here to take down some obstacles that are in the way for your next generation. And you don't have time to build because you're so busy whipping ass and destroying and fighting every demon that exists, including shadow work inside yourself. But you out here challenging everything, going against the grain, living your life in the light, living your life, not by others' rules, challenging everyday thought, everyday lies that should be challenged. You out here doing that. So, in that, okay, you may not be rich just yet. You may not be a billionaire just yet. And it's all perspective even with that. You are the technology, you are the $1 billion source of energy that is pushing this planet. So do you need dollars or gold or houses or land to really, you know, justify that? I don't know. So I don't know. I think God is everything, and I think the structure of this realm will always build, and that may not necessarily have anything to do with whether we are in our God state or at our highest charge or doing our God's work, our light work. Because sometimes it is a war, and if we're at war, then there's going to be a lot of dark work, and everything's being torn down so that it can be rebuilt. So, yeah, just a thought. Just a thought.